Way number 6. Number 6 on the device. That is today is the 12th of November, 2 o'clock, 2023, and it's Sunday. And as I say a lot of the times, I think Flo is away. She's doing some kind of a Satguru course. I can't think of it. It's another woman doing it, and it's like a refresher course. And I just felt the need to do one of these things today. Even though when I listen back, and I don't know if this will change or not, a lot of the time I find the content very boring, even for me. And I'm the one doing them, because the talking in a lot of them can be about like Transport Fever 2, or it can be about just something that's not interesting to me when I'm listening to it. But it is kind of a venting process, and I like doing these things because I like creating something and just storing something. So yeah, Flo's away, 2 goes at home, and this weekend, and the reason for doing this really is I wanted to talk about what I've been doing this weekend. And I have finally, after many years of thinking about it, I've finally managed to digitize my 2 videotapes, the Stags and Hens one and the Pope's Lane stuff from 1999 to 2000. I did it Friday, and after having a lot of trouble setting the thing up, I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. I think at the end of the day, the reason it wasn't working, I just simply had the video output lead plugged into the wrong thing. Because when it's all plugged in correctly and you put the SART in the bottom socket, it works, and it works flawlessly. I had no problem, and it downloaded good. I thought the quality for what it is pretty good, and the sound was in sync and everything. So I was very happy with the result. And of course, the thing about having it on a file like that is that you can just kind of take the cursor and you can just move along the bar to any moment you want in a 2-hour tape, which is really great. It's so difficult on a video, if you're using an old VCR, to find anything. You know, you're going forward and back and forward and back. It's awful. But when it's on the laptop, you can just go to some section you want, and then you can even, like I've done, you go to the power director and you can chop out that little bit that you maybe want to keep. And that's what I've been doing. I've took the little bit that I've always liked on the Stags and Hens, not the actual production, which I think is terrible, except for a couple of people, Mark Fitzgerald and a girl whose name escapes me, but basically the 2 leads, kind of, in a way. I thought they were very good. But the part where I'm coming down the stairs and I meet Karen, and I say my little stupid Bowie impersonated bit to the camera, I just like that because I look really good in it. And for a good reason, I think, because at that moment I'd been accepted to the Drama Centre. We were just finished our production. We were kind of into the summer, and the world was in front of me, and I thought, I was on my way to big things, you know. Really did. At that particular moment was almost like the pinnacle, the top in terms of where I was in terms of belief and confidence in my aspirations to be an actor. You know, I really saw nothing but good things in front. And that was 91. I'm pretty sure the Stags and Hens thing was 91. I'm pretty sure it was at some point there. And the Drama Centre started in September 91, so it was probably the summer. And then just 2 short years later, thereabouts, I find myself in Sutherland Avenue completely alone, you know. Just completely dropped from that moment of the high, which it's a symbolic moment because it was like the peak of my whole youth in a way. And I kind of came down to earth with a bang once the Drama Centre stuff ended. I didn't enjoy the 2 years, and then when at the end of the second year I was out, and I kind of realized this is kind of not going to work, the whole acting thing. And it's kind of sad to watch in a way, to see this person who's just so hopeful. And then there's some other stuff, of course, from Pope's Lane, where mainly the thing to see is that I was a lot younger, because it's 20 years ago. Not so much the nostalgia thing in that, really. I just have to look at the surroundings and where I was and everything to think, well, I'm a lot better off now. But it's been strange. It's stirred up old memories, especially the Quester stuff. And seeing all the people there, I wished I'd been more interested in more people. I wish I'd been, like a lot of this stuff, I wish I was a bit more like I am now, a lot more laid back. You know, just could enjoy things and was a bit more intelligent, so that at the time, not to go to the Drama Centre would have seemed like a crushing disaster. And I would probably, if that didn't happen, I'd probably be making this tape now, thinking, this digital file, and I'd be saying to myself, if only I'd gone to the Drama Centre, my life would be different now. So in a way, it's very good to go for 2 years and realize, hey, you never have to worry about, oh, if only I'd gone, you know, because it wasn't to be. Seeing all these things, the tape going back, and it's funny when you see yourself alive rather than a photograph. You know, it's like you're a person on the screen moving and talking. Especially from that far into the past, there isn't really anything of me. I think that particular clip, which again is why it's kind of unique, it is the youngest version of myself that, as far as I'm aware, exists in video format. I know David Emmett he videoed us doing our audition speeches, and for all I know, somebody may have recorded me at some point or other in the past, but as far as I'm aware, and for what I have, that's the earliest clip of me. In a video way, moving around, you know, that's the earliest. And when I think of, because Claudia is in it a little bit as well, and it puts me in mind of Argyle Road, and then I think of the little red notebook I was writing on at the time, and that bedroom we had, and just how I can remember back to various points in time because of the way I've documented things. And I'm very glad I wrote certain things down, especially in Sutherland Avenue. I wish, in a way, I documented things a bit more. I can't really understand why I'm so short of photographs. I had a camera, and it seems that the only thing I took photographs was myself when I was out walking around. But I don't think there's hardly a single photograph of Argyle Road, the house, the different rooms. There's no photographs of Kieran Egan or other people that were living there. I have no photographs of the questers, no photographs of the teachers, of the group. There's no photographs from Drama Centre. Maybe that's not a bad thing, but it's kind of puzzles me why, if I had a camera, I wouldn't have considered these things to be worth photographing. Anyway, it's strange to take a trip back down memory lane like that. I saw a photograph of one of my last visits to the Rose and Crown on a sunny day, and I was writing in one of the diaries that I have, and I stopped halfway through the page and said, I'm going to take a picture, and I took a picture of the diary, and it's kind of interesting because I was able to get the same diary, and I could open it at the exact page that I'd photographed, and when I'd photographed the page, of course, that's where the writing stopped. That's as far as I'd gotten. Now the diary is complete. But I don't know, it was kind of something to see, to hold it in your hand and think that's the same one that's there on that bright sunny day with the beer, with the Guinness glasses around it in the Rose and Crown all those years ago, and that was that moment. I'm glad to have these things recorded. They're now there for prosperity. I already have them on the storage device, and well, I don't need the video recorder or the tapes anymore. They've been saved. It's funny to think back that I was at one point in Sutherland Avenue, because it's kind of, well, it's a long time ago to think that I was living that kind of a life, where I really had no money at all. And I had to get up and face every day, And I have, thanks to the writing and stuff, I have some idea of my mindset back then. 93, 27 years of age. And there were times it really seemed very precarious, my position. And when I see the way I acted in Stags and Hens and the way I'm imitating Bowie and this and that, I can tell my inadequacies. And it's strange that someone who looked pretty good, for instance in 93, I couldn't get a job. When I went to the Blockbusters I didn't get a job. And I remember that interview, I remember being kind of cocky. I also remember feeling really old. We were doing one of these things where you get this girl and she says, draw a diagram of what you consider your top qualities. It's this kind of bullshit. And I just drew a big block, a rock. And I just found it really stupid at that time. And even though I was only in my 20s, I felt too old and important to be even contemplating this type of work. I don't know why I felt that. I don't know why I couldn't do the job and just think, hey, forget about it. As long as you can do it and it's okay, it's the money that's important. And then try and... what am I talking about? I was going to say consider doing some courses about something, but fuck. I can't even consider doing something like that now. There's lots of courses online that I could do if I wanted to. But I have got absolutely zero idea of what course I'd want to do. So, I'm not really 100% different from that time. There are slight differences. Passing things out with me walking as well. I hate those fucking guys. Yeah. So, where are we today? Well, what's the news today? These Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I've never seen something so polarizing where it's like, I just don't understand sometimes when you make a comment on the Daily Telegraph or whatever and people criticize the comment. You can literally say something like, I think it's terrible the way the Israeli forces are killing an indiscriminate and large amount of civilians and children. I wish there was another way. And then someone will say, well, there isn't another way. Why don't you come up with another way? It's almost like if you show any criticism for Israel, you're classed as being Hamas. And vice versa, if you show any support for the Palestinians, you're kind of classed as being an anti-Semite. It's really weird. Bonjour. Yeah, it's so strange. There's no agreement on things. People really lose their mind from one side or the other. Can't explain it here on the device, but I think you know what I mean. I will make a comment that in my mind is a very sound, kind of indisputable kind of comment, and one where you kind of imagine, surely no one can dispute this or argue against this if I just say it's terrible to see children being killed. But it depends on what children you're talking about. So sometimes I make a comment and I'm just expecting just a like or an agreement, because I'm saying, well, you can't disagree with this. Surely nobody likes seeing children being killed. How can you disagree with that? But they do. So that's one of the things for the moment. Russians are still at war with the Ukraine. The crypto markets have rebounded. Bitcoin is now up to about $34,000. ADA has gone to 35 cents. And our money has gone up to around, at the moment, around 43,000, which is a little over 10,000 down. So it's been a good time for crypto. They say there may be this spots given to I don't know what the word is. I'm not an economic person, but it's when all these big investment companies get to allow their clients to invest a little bit in Bitcoin. And what it means is that these big investment companies have to buy quite a lot of crypto so that they can invest in it, and this should pump, they think, billions into the market perhaps next year, and that should send the price skyrocketing, we hope. And then I'll have the job of trying to figure out how to claw back some of this money and take it out. But that would be something, that would be a nice complaint to have. Because we've gone from, over the week, let's say the month or 2 months, gone from maybe 20,000 to 40. That's a hell of an increase. That's happening in the crypto world. And then you've got that stuff going on in the world in general. It's so polarized. Everybody is at everybody's throat. So difficult to find middle ground for anything. You can get into raging arguments by making comments, like I was just saying, that you think are the most kind of banal, neutral comments. Flo's going off next month, the 8th of December, for a month. Still not sure how Tuco's going to do, whether he's going to Aberdeen. I'm kind of hoping he gets taken away for the whole month. And then I'd love if the same thing happened to Bob. I'd just love to be here on my own for a couple of weeks. No cats, no dogs. It's great, they're great company, blah blah blah, but like, I don't have to say it. It's just, even today, you know, if two goes up and I had to get up, I didn't really want to get up, I was tired, but I had to get up, take him for a walk, and then he's barking. You go outside and there's 3 people walking 3 big fucking dogs, and one of them is the neighbour's dog, so you have to kind of think, well, which way do I go now? And it's kind of it's a bit nerve-wracking for me, because there's like 2 big dogs and a smaller dog, but you kind of know if these 2 dogs get off the leads and one of them starts attacking Tuco, the other one is going to just join in. It's like that's what they do. Anyway, I got out and walked him. And that's for Flo next month. We don't know what's happening. I'm going off to Ireland for Christmas. I don't really feel anything about that. Just kind of to round off, maybe to get back to the clip of me on top of the world back in '91. There was so much to look forward to then. Now, I've said this so many times, I'm not really looking forward to anything. I am kind of enjoying, I'm enjoying the days. I enjoy the little things, I really do. Hello, little fellas. Oh, don't be barking at me. Don't be barking at me. I enjoy the small things. I'm going to the Connemara. I'm going to enjoy eating lunch. I enjoy walking, listening to music. Even I said to Flo, we went to do some shopping in Lidl, and I said I enjoyed doing the shopping. And Flo found that amusing, that you'd enjoy what she considers a pain in the ass, you know, shopping work. And I count myself lucky that I enjoy the little things, but the future is maybe I've just got to that point where it's in a way a nice way to be, that I'm not bothered by the falseness of looking forward to this thing or that thing, and do you know what I mean? Not thinking, oh, I'm going to go on holiday to America and that's going to change everything. Right, I'm going to have to pass this group in front, and I don't feel like talking as I do it. It's like a big bunch of guys and girls, so I'll sign off for now. Adios.